So I've always loved children's books. Been a huge fan. I have a quite sizable collection of picture books and children's books. I love children's literature. It was a real escape for me as a kid. I didn't have the greatest childhood experience, but kids' books allowed me to dream bigger than what was happening in my immediate space. So that's where the love came from. Like I worked with Disney I did some character design on a project with Disney that took off very well. You can even watch that one on Disney Plus. I've made toys of my stuff as well. And this is another thing, you see, those toys that I made, I did the initial illustration, right? Mm-hmm. But I can't do the 3D stuff. I can't do the screen print, the 3D printing stuff.
Yeah.
So what I did was I hired people that I know can do it. When I came into the industry, that was what I was told, that illustrators don't meet authors. But me and Nathan are friends. Before we ever signed anything, we were friends. We've met many, many times. So to me, I wasn't having that. Every single author I've ever worked with, I always go behind the publisher's back. I reach out to them. We meet. Me and Swapna met before I ever started working on the book. I didn't even have to go behind the publisher's back. The publisher had a meeting with me and Swapna, and we met straight away before we started going on working on the book. It was the same with Mark, who I worked with on a series called Space Detectives. We met before we ever started working. We bounced ideas off of each other. We talk. I show them drawings. They see things. I did a book with Mallory Blackman as well. Mallory and I met before the book started before I started working on the book. Anybody I've ever worked with on a book, I will reach out to them to go and talk to them, even if it has to be behind the publisher's back.
Right.
She represents me. She deals with my contracts. She deals with various things. You know, some people have an issue with paying somebody else to deal with those things. But let me say something about agents, that a good agent is responsible for your market rate. Right? So I didn't know anything about how much I should be charging for anything. I don't know the going rates. I don't know that. A good agent knows all of those things. My agent is the one that set my market rate. She's the one that made sure that the market rate climbs as my Kinikon goes up, the market rate goes up as well. She's the one that made sure that happens. And that's hard to do on your own unless you have that knowledge, you know. That's what you're paying your agent for. That is where the agent earns their money. They go into that room and they argue your rate for you. Why? Because it's in their best interest to get you the highest rate. Because if they get you a higher rate, they get paid a higher rate. So that's something that, as a creative, a lot of creatives struggle to advocate for themselves, to show up for themselves. A lot of people will end up getting paid the same amount for 10 years. You don't see pay rise. Push back against this, man. I think you should carve your own path. And I think the only way you can carve your own path is by being somewhat dead. I don't want to give like a airy fairy answer, but I can only tell you what works for me. Put it this way. And don't read too much into this one. I realized something. I used to give myself a hard time because I came into the industry at 35. I used to be like, I should have come in 10 years prior. But the reason why I'm able to navigate the industry the way I navigate the industry is because I came in at 35. If I came in at 25, I would have burnt everything down and just destroyed all my opportunities because I was hot-headed. And I say all that to say that whether you're 25 or 35, a key thing is self-awareness. If you know why you want to be an author, why you want to be a storyteller, why you want to be an illustrator, that will always help you navigate. That will help you when it comes to these footsteps that we're talking about. It will always help you understanding why. Even sometimes I forget, I have to remind myself, this is why you're doing this. And because your why does not align with this opportunity, that means you can't take this opportunity. That